Super, super happy to talk to you. And mostly with so much happening right now and all this match, this feuds and everything that is happening now. The fact that you were world champions, there's so many things that happened in over the last 4 years that has happened.
Yeah.
So I just wanna I'm gonna start with Frankie Kazarian because that's the let's say you had a match against him last week.
Mhm.
The Rascalz more or less cost you the match. So tell us a little bit more about what is happening currently between you and all these people involved.
Currently, my goal is to get back to the world title picture, and that's what I'm trying to do. And obviously, Frankie was an obstacle to doing that. Obviously, I lost due to the Rascalz. They like to stick their nose now in my business for some reason, and I don't think they get the hint that I'm the one that's going to end this. So I guess that's something I have to take care of now is take care of the Rascalz. I don't care if there's two of them, three of them, one of them. I'm going to burn their treehouse down.
Oh no, no. Oh, they could make it. They probably can make it burn by themselves.
Probably.
I mean,
Well, the fact that they
I
haven't burned it
mean,
down already on their own means somebody's got to do it.
no, we know the smoke in the treehouse, so the smoke. Well, uh, was Frankie Kazarian someone you wanted to wrestle for a long time? We know he's a long time. He's a veteran of TNA. He has such a long history with the company. Um, were you were you looking forward to working with him?
Yes, no, I was very much looking forward to getting back with an angle with Frankie at some point, just to work a program with him because he and I we locked up about a year ago when I was on my way back to the world title and trying to. Well, I was on my way to the world title, and he was just an obstacle that was in my way. And I knew he was an opponent that at some point down the line I'd love to face again. And it was great to share the ring, but obviously I had the king of TNA beat and one of the OGs of TNA and Frankie Kazarian. And the Rascalz got involved. So that kind of deterred my plans. But hopefully we get back to that here in the future again.
Yeah, yeah, he's a great wrestler, excellent. But the great surprise at Rebellion was to see Santana coming back. Was very excited because I started working on TNA. It was 2017. Those LAX was at the top. Um, and I was very amazed by the match, but I also was very amazed by what he said about you. The praise he said you're really locked in. He loved your mind for wrestling. Were you expecting that opponent at Rebellion and at the same time uh, being rewarded that way with so much praise?
It's gratifying to know, even for the first time you meet somebody, if they praise you already for the work that you put out there, and it's good to know. And I also respect and appreciate what he's done and what he's capable of. And I think we're very similar in that way, where we both come from a little bit of a background where we're in a tag team. Things didn't work out, and we saw more for ourselves. So we put a lot of weight and put that chip on our shoulder for each other on individuals. And I think that brings out the best in us, especially when two guys like that meet. And I think that's something here that we can get back to again as well with me and Santana. And that's somebody I'd like to work with again here in the future.
Yeah, and he's sorry, I'm messing up. Um, he's requesting it. He really wants. He said it. I really want more matches with him, which is quite a compliment.
It's good to know. It's good to hear. And hopefully we get back to it. That's on TNA itself and Santino making those calls.
Yeah, that's not happening all the time, so we have to take it when they come. I was very happy to see you sign with TNA, sign a new contract with TNA because um, I was thinking you were great in TNA, and I was asking myself what the future would be for you. But what can why stay in TNA? What made the decision easier to say, I stay in TNA, I'm good at TNA, and I want to stay there.
Well, there's a lot of opportunity there. I've obviously been a world champion, and I would love to get back to the world title. So I have a lot of unfinished business of getting back to the world title and holding on to it a lot longer than I did before previously. And there's also a lot of opponents that I still have left to work and get back to, especially with the Josh Alexander. That's somebody I want to get back to in a
Mm.
program with at some point. Love another matchup there just to get a little retribution and payback on him. And then just now with Santana coming in and the buzz of the brand, the rebrand of TNA, and having that back, and just to be able to be a kind of on the spearhead of it and kind of bring into this new generation of what TNA is, I feel comfortable in that, and I feel I can put that weight on my shoulders as well.
I was asking myself, I know what these three letters mean to me. TNA, crazy wrestling, all the guys I loved when I was a bit younger. Um, and what does it mean to you? What does this three letter means to you when it comes to wrestling?
My home. TNA has become my home. It's the first place that has really embraced who I am and allowed me to flourish and show who I am to the world as a professional wrestler, especially on my own, and not being in a tag team for so long that like I was previously. So being able to be here, have the opportunity, and to go out there and show the world of what Steve Maclin and who Steve Maclin is, that's what I've been trying to do for the past 3 years, and that's what I'm going to continue to do as long as I'm with TNA.
Yeah, TNA is it's great to be a part of the history of the company. And um, I was on the hiatus for a while because I had many personal issues and etc. I mean, I was watching and I saw you become world champion. I was super happy about that. And now I'm coming back to it, and it seems like some things changed, but in some ways, nothing has changed. It's still TNA, it's still the people I love. There's people coming back, new talents, and um, things are pretty much like they have always been. And do you have the same feeling? Because there's so many people coming, going. Currently, the it's crazy. It's crazy times in TNA. Do you feel at ease with all that changes and all those changes and newcomers coming back, all those things?
I try to focus on what I can control. Things around me will change, higher ups will change, talent will change, and all I can worry about is what I'm doing and the product that I'm putting out there and going out and showing the people what I'm capable of and what Steve Maclin is in my own brand. With so many different talents coming in and out, it's great. It's good for the brand. And it's also just good for pro wrestling. There's so many different places to work right now, and the opportunity is out there. And TNA has always been a place to come and show the world kind of who you are and what you are when you haven't been able to do that elsewhere. So I welcome all newcomers, anybody that wants to come on down to TNA, and if they want to actually show face and really get into what the TNA locker room has to offer and see what TNA is all about with the total nonstop action, they can come on down. And like I said, though, I try to control what I can, and what I worry about is what I can do.
And the roster is amazing, and you have already competed against a lot of people. But do you still have some people that you have never wrestled and you really want to wrestle in this roster?
I'd like to get back to Moose at some point. I've beaten him previously twice in multi-man matches, and one singles match, but it was a special guest referee with Sami Callihan. But I'd like to get back to Moose while he has that world title. That'd be something I'd like to take off of him and take down the system. But we'll see. Now that you have Matt Hardy back with Nick Nemeth, there's so many different. I'd love to get back to Nick Nemeth at some point. I think he and I had good chemistry, and it's a good story that we could still build off of. There's so many different talents. Eddie Edwards is another one I would love to get back to at some point. Even Brian, the whole system. I'll face all three of them at once if I had to. So
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. You would take the front of them and through. Um, uh, I really love. How do you look back now? Because it was like a year ago. How do you look back at this title run? And with that time, do you feel like um, uh, um, from this experience, the champion you want to be, if you and you will be champion a second time, what have you learned from that time being world champion?
To embrace it and enjoy the moment. If anything, I didn't know how long it was going to last. It didn't last very too long. Obviously, I had to go through a lot of hoops and different things behind the scenes, and especially the battle I went through with PCO kind of took a toll on my body. Eventually, getting Alex Shelley before he left as from the company, but just embracing it and taking in the moment and enjoying while I have it. And I think I showed the company too what I'm capable of when in put in that role. And it's the weight of it. It's that old cliche of it's not the title that makes the man, it's the man that makes the title. And I
Yeah.
firmly believe that to this day. It's the same with when I was in the military. It's the uniform. It's not the uniform that makes the man, it's the man that makes the uniform. And how you carry yourself and how you portray to everybody else. And you kind of put yourself there, but you're also putting the company first as well. But you're still putting yourself in the forefront of being able to be the guy or the girl in that matter of what people want to look at when they think of TNA. And I think that's something we can get back to. And that's pretty much what I gained from it.
I really love this match against PCO. Maybe because PCO is a friend, but also because yeah, it was one hell of a match. And you may not be the more casual guys with hardcore things, so it was bloody match, it was really hell, but um uh do you enjoy this kind of situation, being able to work with young talents one day and having a title match against someone like PCO who has been in the business for so long and being able to embrace at the same time the best of um, give your best for the young talents, but also take from people who have been there for so long.
It allows me to continue to just get better. And whether it's somebody that's day one in the business or day million in the business, like PCO, who's been around forever, I learn from everybody. Whether you learn something new every day you're in the ring. I may think one way and another person thinks another way, and that's where we get to come together in the ring and we kind of make things up, and that's what we put out there. We're putting out that form of art, and I think people take for granted that sometimes, where you work together, and I always learn something new, and I appreciate when I get in there with somebody that's younger than me that wants to move a little faster, because I still can move a little fast, but I also like to slow it down a little bit too, days. But
Yeah.
and then being able to just creatively just tell a story and work together that's the fun part for me. That's pro wrestling, and you work with the body of work that's put in front of you, and then you also have to figure out what works for you too, what's safe, what doesn't work there. And to be able to go out there with PCO and to gain a little knowledge for him and from him, and then just work on things that elevated my game, that got me to where I needed to be, I appreciate. And that's kind of how I approach everything. Is I learn something new every day. I learned something in this past week in Cincinnati at tapings as well, of just working with the storylines and angles behind, not giving you spoilers, but with storylines and angles in the back, and just kind of just progressing storylines and where we're getting to, and learning from a lot of the talent, even just watching other talent throughout the card on the whole roster. I try to watch everybody's match. I try to watch to see who I could possibly work with down the line, or I try to watch what the girls are doing just to see if I can help them, or if they come to me for advice, I can actually give them advice and not BS them saying, "Oh yeah, I watched your match, it was great." But yeah, no, I learn from everyone.
Yeah, but we always learn, and there are so many simple moments that we can enjoy. Was with friends just before, and a little girl that is 1 year old, she was smiling and having fun, and I was smiling, and I was like, just the beauty of life, and I take it because there's so many things that happens every day. Um, I will allow myself one personal question that really, I'm not that kind of person, but does it make a difference now that your wife is not working in the same company that yours? And do you miss the fact of traveling with her, working with her, or do you simply enjoy the fact that she's having a good time somewhere else?
I miss having her at work every day. I miss traveling together. But that's the business. We kind of knew this was going to eventually happen at some point, and one day we'll be back together traveling again, whether it's TNA there or elsewhere. Who knows? But I'm so happy and proud for her, just because she's really kind of like, it took a few months to get her on her feet there and kind of find her mold and where she fits. And I think she's really getting into it now with getting that out there and the whole Italian side of her, and she's being able to show the world who she truly is, of being the virtuosa and Diana Perazzo. And I'm so proud of her. And I'll be tuning in tonight on Dynamite to see what she's got going on. We were actually just chatting before. She's in LA now. So just, it's not like we don't see each other or don't talk to each other. We just sometimes pass each other while we're getting through the airport, or when we're home, we make the most of it. But no, I'm so proud of her because she works so damn hard in the gym, just at home, still working on character ideas and just storyline angles. She's busting her ass every day. And that's what makes me love what I do and love this business in general, just because she gets so much joy out of it too. And I enjoy seeing her hard work paying off, and it is. And I don't think the world fully understands what a virtuosa is yet, but they will.
I have to say that what she has done, what she had done in TNA for women and for the business, it's just incredible. And it's one of my favorite person because she has always been so nice with me and so kind. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that. I've always loved
You don't want to get on her bad side.
As a wrestler and as someone I can interview. So really, and she's fantastic. I realized that. Well, yeah, you are the girl in the end. No, but it's a pleasure when you have someone you can talk to. Know that she's how do you say it? As bold can be. She's really nice and she's so proud of what she's doing. So
she's tough. She's tough as nails. She's tougher than me.
a lot of
people think that I'm tough. My wife's a lot tougher, believe me.
And as a women, it's so great when we can connect that way, because there are not that many female interviewers. So she has always been great with me, and I will never forget that. I realized that, in fact, when you made your debut, there was no fans.
No.
Fans were not. That was the pandemic. Do you feel like it changed something? That suddenly when people come, because I realized also at some tough moments, I had to make a pause, and I'm watching back on back. I'm not going to say that, but I was not able to watch all the time. I realized that the fans now really huge and are supporting you a lot. And I was like, oh, for here, that's not usual. But do you feel like that made a real big difference on the way people so we're seeing you and appreciating you? The fact that now you have peoples in front of you.
Fans are the lifeblood. That's what makes the show go. We can't go out there, and it's hard to wrestle when we don't have a fan reaction. We don't know what works. All we're doing then is just moves, and it's great, and it's still pro wrestling, but it's not the feel of a live crowd and the energy that we get, that we can feed off of, that keeps us motivated and it keeps us pushing to just keep going. And that was one thing that was very different for me to debut without any fans, just because I was trying something new on my own I hadn't done yet. And now I have no way to feed off of a fan, to whether they like me or hate me, and then see their reaction of a certain move or a movement or a look. And then once we started getting fans, that's where I got more of my confidence, because I wasn't very confident. Like, I was confident coming out at the gate on my own, but without having fans there, my confidence was kind of down, because I'm like, I don't know if this is working or not. I can't tell until I watch it back and see what fans are reviewing online or what they're saying on a Twitch stream. So for me to eventually have the fans coming back and to listen and be able to hear and feel that energy, and then even on the independents and getting to feel that as well, it made it a complete difference night and day of what pro wrestling is. Because without fans, we're just people in a ring, just slapping meat and throwing each other around.
Yeah, and my last question will be pretty simple. In these last 3 years, um, which match? I don't know if it's a match, a moment. Being world champion, of course, is one thing, but a match, something that you really uh, enjoyed more than anything. Uh, is it simply being a part of TNA, or one match, or one person, one opponent? Something that really blew your mind during that 3 years, and something you keep in your heart and your mind in everything that you do.
I would say against all odds last year with Alex Shelley when I actually lost the title, and he did beat me, but to lay there on the floor and hear how the crowd is reacting, and to see Chris Sabin come in and celebrate with him, and for what the Motor City Machine Guns have done for TNA for so long, and he finally won the big one. It made it a little bit more for me to lose it than actually win it, if that makes sense. Just because I know all the hard work and that he's put in. And granted, I put in the work too, and I lost. But it was just kind of gratifying to hear the way the crowd reacted and saw how genuine Shelley was when he won the title. And it was just a cool moment. Even coming back and seeing the praise he got from a lot of the talent behind the scenes. Granted, I kept my distance because I was still upset about my loss. But it was really cool to just see how happy and how grateful he was for the opportunity and for the moment that he got that night.
We know, I don't know if you say the same in the US, but we say something like that. Sometimes we can be winners when we lose, or when winners in the defeat. And I feel like I've been a huge winner during this last 3 years, and I wish you the best for the next,
Thank you.
I don't know, many years, and I hope we will have many more occasions to talk, because my God, I was expecting it for so long,
No,
that story. And really wish you the best, really the
no,
very
thank you.
best.
Thank you, Stephanie. It was really good
And
to chat with you.